Please? He begged. Don't do this. I just smirked, remembering the nights he spent video calling his ex while I was alone with our baby. You made your choice on those business trips. Now I've made mine. The shock on his face was everything I'd waited a year for. It feels weird to be writing this. 5 years of marriage. You think you know someone. We have a beautiful 16-month-old son. He wasn't an easy arrival. We went through the whole IVF gauntlet for him. And honestly, it made us feel invincible. Like we could get through anything together. He's the center of our universe. Lately, my husband's work has been ramping up. Lots of travel. It's not ideal. But it's part of his job. So we manage. But this last month has been particularly brutal. He was gone for 3 separate business trips. Back to back. Each one about 5 or 6 days long. I was basically in full-on solo mom mode. Juggling our son, the house, and trying not to feel too lonely. So, yesterday morning, I was sitting at the kitchen table. The baby was finally down for his nap. And I had a rare moment of silence with a lukewarm cup of coffee. My phone buzzed. I glanced down and saw a message request on social media. I figured it was just spam. But I tapped on it anyway. The name I saw made my stomach drop. It was his ex-girlfriend. My first thought was, what the hell? They broke up years before he and I even met. I opened the message. My heart starting to pound in that slow, heavy way. She was incredibly direct. But not unkind. She said she was reaching out because my husband had been messaging her. She said it happened every time he was on a business trip. Starting last month. And then she said, I thought you should see for yourself. Attached were the screenshots. My thumb scrolled. But my brain could barely keep up. It wasn't overtly sexual. But the energy coming from his side was desperate. He was so excited. Long paragraphs about his work. Asking about hers. Reminiscing about old inside jokes. It was all catching up. But he was the one constantly driving the conversation forward. I could see him trying to build something. To spin up this thread of an emotional connection from nothing. Then I saw the messages about a video call. He stayed up late. After a long day of meetings. To talk to her for a couple of hours. I was probably passed out from exhaustion after wrestling our son to sleep while he was staring into his screen. Smiling at her. The final screenshot was from her. She laid it all out. She told him, point blank, that what he was doing was a form of cheating. That she wasn't comfortable participating in it and didn't want to be his secret. And then she told him she was blocking him. I put my phone down on the table and stared out the window. The house was dead quiet except for the hum of the fridge. I looked at the screenshots again. At the bright blue message bubbles of his words. Then at our son's sippy cup sitting on the counter. It felt like I was looking at evidence from 2 completely separate lives. In one, I was here, running our home, raising the child we both desperately wanted. In the other, he was using his freedom on the road to try and reconnect with a ghost. In that moment, the sickest realization hit me. This woman, a practical stranger to me, had shown more respect for my marriage in a single text message than my own husband had in a month. My hands were shaking. I had the proof. Now I just had to figure out what to do with it. I stared at his contact photo on my screen for what felt like an eternity before my thumb finally hit the call button. The phone rang 3 times, each one echoing in the silent kitchen. He picked up, and his voice was so normal, so cheerful. Hey, what's up? Is the little man okay? I took a breath. He's fine. He's sleeping. I let the silence hang for a second before I dropped the bomb. Your ex-girlfriend messaged me. The silence on his end was different this time. It was heavy. When he finally spoke, his voice had a tight, forced casualness to it. Oh, that, babe. It was nothing. Seriously. We were just catching up. He tried to laugh it off. A hollow little sound that didn't even come close to reaching his eyes. I'm sure. Nothing. I asked. My voice dangerously level. She sent me screenshots. Husband's name. All of them. Including the part where you stayed up for a 2-hour video call with her while you were supposed to be on a business trip. He started scrambling then. I could almost picture him pacing in his hotel room. Running a hand through his hair. Look. I know it looks bad. But it was innocent. I had this really weird dream about her dog one night. And it just made me curious. You know. I just wanted to see how she was doing. So I sent her an email. And it just went from there. A dream about her dog. My brain tried to process the sheer absurdity of the excuse. That was his story. Not a confession. Not an apology. But a flimsy, prepackaged lie that he was trying to sell me. He thought I was that naive. In that moment, the issue wasn't just the messages anymore. It was the insult of this pathetic cover story. The rest of the call was a blur of me pushing and him deflecting. It was long and ugly. I kept circling back to the same questions. Why did he hide it? Why was he so eager? Why did it only happen when he was hundreds of miles away? For a long time, he just kept repeating that it was stupid but not a big deal. Finally, after what felt like an hour of me refusing to let it go, something in him broke. The defensiveness in his voice collapsed, replaced by a flat, defeated tone. "You're right," he said, his voice quiet. "It was wrong. It was so stupid. And I hurt you. I hurt our family. I am so sorry." He sounded sincere. For a split second, a tiny, foolish part of me wanted to believe him. So I tested it. "Okay," I said. "If you're really sorry and have nothing to hide, then I want to see the conversation from your phone. Send me your screenshots." Another long, damning silence. "I can't," he finally said. "Why not?" "I deleted them," he admitted. "All of it. After she blocked me, I panicked and deleted everything. And just like that, the air went out of me." That one sentence told me everything I needed to know. This wasn't a simple mistake he was owning up to. This was a secret he had actively managed, and, when threatened with exposure, his first instinct wasn't to come clean to his wife. It was to destroy the evidence. The apology ringing in my ears suddenly felt completely hollow. I realized I wasn't talking to a man who was sorry for what he did. I was talking to a man who was sorry he got caught. How are you supposed to rebuild from that? After he admitted to deleting the messages, the conversation pretty much died. There was nothing left to say. The apology had given me moments before now felt like a script he was reading. It's like watching someone apologize for knocking over a vase only because you're holding a security tape of them doing it. It wasn't remorse for the act. It was regret for getting caught. He only started taking this seriously when he realized I had irrefutable proof from a third party, and that his initial, flimsy excuse about a dog dream wasn't going to work. The fact that he didn't confess, but had to be exposed, is a truth that has settled in my bones and made me cold. The deepest, most personal cut in all of this is that he knew. I haven't had the easiest road with relationships. I came into this marriage with a history of trust issues. And I was always open with him about it. I told him about the work I'd done to heal. And how much his consistency and honesty meant to me. He was supposed to be the one who was different. He was my safe harbor. To know that he, the person I trusted with my most fragile parts, was consciously choosing to do something secretive and dishonest behind my back, it feels like a targeted attack on my biggest vulnerability. He didn't just break my trust. He took a sledgehammer to the very foundation we built our life on. He's back from his trip now. And the atmosphere in our house is thick with a silence that feels heavier than shouting. He seems to finally get the scale of the damage. He's saying all the right things now, that he'll do anything. Go to therapy. Give me his passwords. Whatever it takes to earn my trust back. He talks about it like it's a misplaced set of keys he can just go out and find. But I look at him playing with our son. The son we fought so hard for. And I feel this profound sense of disappointment. It's a physical ache in my chest. I'm looking at the same man. But I'm also looking at a stranger who was capable of this casual, calculated deception. So now I'm just stuck. I'm devastated. A part of me wants to fix this for our son. To believe that this was a one-time, idiotic mistake that he'll learn from. But another, louder part of me is screaming that the trust is gone forever. You can't unsee what I saw in those screenshots. You can't unknow that his first instinct was to lie and delete. I don't know how long this feeling is going to last. Or if I'll ever be able to look at him and not feel that sickening lurch in my stomach. So I'm asking you, Reddit, has anyone been through something similar? How do you even begin to rebuild from this? Is it possible to ever trust him again? Not just 99, but completely, the way a wife should be able to trust her husband. Or am I fooling myself? What would you recommend?